I'm a big believer that something has to be about something, that there's a theme to it. What was it about the camp concept that hooked you and that made you say, you know, I really want to put in all this incredible amount of effort?
I was a Boy Scout for 16 years. Started when I was 5 as a tiger cub or whatever. And I, went to summer camp every year. Was an Eagle Scout by 16, and then the big life-changing for me was working at camp. I guess I like to think of working camp staff as being a freshman in college early. So, at 15, I was away from my parents, living basically on my own. I got to decide what I did, really.
Sort of a coming of age process?
It was just like a place where I got to figure out who I was, and it became, a big part of my identity. What's interesting about camp to me is that camp is, this place that you go to, especially if you're working at a camp, where you're separated from the rest of the world. It's like a little mini practice world. And you're forced together, in these forced interactions with other staff members that you may have never met before, and in another world would probably never talk to. So you have these new people in nature, so outside, and you're forced together to do all of this, incredible amount of work for a period of time that is bound to change you, and sort of you're allowed to reinvent yourself. Camp Abercorn is, it's about coming out. So
coming out in a gay sense, or what?
Well, in more than that, I think. You can be whoever you want to be at camp, because they don't know you from before. And
you're also discovering yourself,
and you're discovering,
aren't you?
Exactly. And so it, in a way, it enables you to come out. For me, it was coming out of the closet, but for everybody, I think, and certainly all the characters in our show are coming out about something in their life. Sort of.
So is that the theme, sort of, the coming out at self-discovery and in this kind of Petri dish sort of world, this kind of safe, or this place that's apart from society, from greater society? Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's what drama is about, right? People changing and people evolving and people becoming who they were. So that was the theme that made you want to commit to this and to do this.
Exactly.
Did the three of you agree to this? Did you all say, oh yeah, that's what we want to do too? Matt and Meg?
Matt and Meg and I, all got there together, I think. We knew that we liked the idea of camp long before we had narrowed down our theme quite as rigidly. So it's been a year's worth of working it until whatever it was really about came to the surface.
Did you guys have a writing background, training, or anything like that? Any of you?
No.
Well, that's just interesting to me, because when I came out to LA, came out here to be a screenwriter, right? And I'd been writing for years, like beating my head against the wall. And I thought that, like, to get to the level of, being, selling something, you really had to get to a high level. Whereas you guys just said, well, hey, let's just start, let's just write it.
I'm talking about myself, I guess. Matt, I should give Matt and Meg more credit. Matt has a film degree, and he studied film production, and he's taken a lot of screenwriting courses and studied this, and he's always known he wanted to write.
One guy that knows what he's doing. Oh, that's good.
The rest of us are hacks.
Matt's behind that camera there.
No, and Meg has worked with Second City and done comedy writing, and she's the comedic touch, if you will.
Jeff, were you intimidated at all by the writing process? I mean, we know how many people, like on the blog, deal with issues of resistance and stuff like that. I mean, I certainly do. Did that affect you, or did you just plunge right in and it was no problem?
I'm a learn by doing guy, I guess. And so for me, I that's how I taught myself how to web design, and that's how I feel like I've taught myself a lot of things in life. So I figure I know the first few drafts are going to suck, but if I keep going, they'll get better. Our pilot is on a draft 11 right now.
Good for you.
So
great.
Hopefully it'll be on 20 by the time we actually film it.
Great. Did you take any classes? Did you take Robert McKee's class or anything to teach yourself anything?
I mean, I read all the books, and I certainly have learned from your website and from you.
Well, it's great to me, just from the outside, to see that you guys were thinking in terms of theme and you know, you had a unity to the whole concept. You weren't just saying, oh, camp is a great idea, let's do, you know.
Take me home to Camp.
I was a Boy Scout for 16 years. You can be a gay youth, but you cannot be a gay adult leader. It's a big shame that I can't still be involved. I want to be able to give back to the organization that I feel gave me so much.